hindi na mababalik yun. Kasi wala, may bahay na, may trauma na. Kumbaga parang night and day ang mga kanta na yun. Everything is fresh, it's new. The thing is, I'm a concept-based songwriter, so when, I was writing the song, I didn't even have a melody yet or anything, but I knew in my head, and I knew in my heart, I'm gonna write this song and it's gonna be called AM. I don't know how it's gonna sound yet or anything, but I knew for sure, that's what I wanted to call it. And then even the chorus, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't mention the word AM there. And I was struggling. I was like, saan ko ba siya ilalagay? And then when I wrote the bridge, can we go back to the AM? And then that kind of becomes the hook of the songs. I was really referring to the beginning because I'm referring to the honeymoon phase of the relationship, which feels like the morning. Everything is fresh. It's new. It's like a new start, which is what the morning is. Talagang tumatak sa isip ko na parang I needed to have that scene, and I knew exactly how I wanted it. I'm so happy with how I was able to execute it with my team from over there, my co-director, si Bianca Katbagan. And I don't know, it was just a very vulnerable moment, I guess, because the shower and the water represents me trying to wash the pain and the memories away. So parang kumbaga parang may metaphor, may symbolism. I guess in terms of, I don't know if you've seen the music video for I'm Drunk, I Love You, but I wanted to make that connection. I guess it's I wanted to create a narrative of kumbaga parang night and day ang mga kanta na yun. And thematically, they're different, but they're also so similar. And I feel even though I didn't write them at the same time, they kind of feel interconnected with each other. So it was really just stemming from that. It's the cycle of that. And I think, if anything, the theme of IDIOY is also trying to escape from your emotions, and AM is facing the reality of your emotions. That's what it is. It's okay, it's the morning after, you're hungover from the party, hungover from all the drinking in IDIOY, hungover of trying to escape from your emotions. But then, at the end of the day, parang, kumbaga, nandun pa din yung problema, kahit ano pang gawin mo. It's an unfortunate reality that, people, and I myself included, struggle to accept. And that's why I felt the songs, even though, I wrote IDIOY last year, April 2022, May 2022, and then I wrote AM earlier this year. So even though those were two different points of my life and I was feeling completely different things, it made a lot of sense, even when we were trying to select the singles. And there's some sort of sonic cohesiveness, and I felt it really helps establish who Jayda is at her core. And I think that's what is different about this new era of music for me, is that we're really digging deep of me, not only as an artist, but me as a person and a human being. I'm a very sentimental person, so I really want to go back. I don't know if you've seen the teaser, but I edited a teaser for the music video. I did it myself, and I wrote this poem, this monologue, this voiceover that I did, and it's basically saying the things I give just to feel it all over again. Aww. So I think it's just that, and it's there's also this struggle that I've always wanted to elaborate on as well. It's is the joy worth all the pain that you would feel? So as an adult, the aftermath is always a given. But if I was given the power to go back, I would go back. Just because that was a different version of me. And I feel in the AM, or with this relationship that I wrote the song about, I would say that I loved so selflessly, in that sense that I loved so purely, with such pure intentions. I mean, I always go into relationships like that, but I think it's the kind of love that I'll never be able to love the same way again, if that makes sense. It's not to say I'll never love anybody again, but to love the way that I did for this person, hindi na mababalik yun. Kasi wala, may bahay na, may trauma na. Parang ganun. I would say in terms of challenges, pre-production for a music video is a lot of work, especially if you're someone like me who is so involved and invested in my craft that I like to be very hands-on. Obviously, it becomes a collaborative process, like in the execution aspect, but the song and the music video is really my brainchild in that sense. So usually before directing a music video, I like to create some sort of like, I wouldn't say like, for lack of a better term, it's kind of like a demo reel or like a guide, like a shot list in actual clips of how I want it to sound like. So it's like the song intercut with a lot of like clips from different forms of media. So that requires me to do a lot of research. And I distinctly remember when I was creating the one for AM, medyo nahirapan ako. It took me like days. I had to marinate with it because I just saw it so clearly in my head, like especially the scenes in the shower and things like that. And it's just like trying to find forms of media that had similar shots in that sense, but also like just to kind of capture the essence of it and be able to communicate to the team what I had in my head, because and like that as a creative can be such a tedious process because it's like, and it can be a little frustrating because it's like I see it, but then it's like I need all of this help to be able to do it. So like how do I communicate it in the best way possible para mabuhay talaga kung ano yung nasa isip ko, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that was definitely one of the challenges throughout the process. And then we shot these music videos in the US. I shot it in LA. And so that was another thing because like obviously I had just met the team there literally the day of. And I mean, we would do like Zoom meetings beforehand, but obviously having to do more than like a good chunk or like good half of the work remotely is a challenge in itself. And these are all people like our gaffers and our crew were Americans and
wow,
yeah
so it's different, no?
So it was a different like
experience.
different experience, and I had so much fun with the team, and I'm so grateful that they were really on board with my vision and they really saw it and they were super committed to it. And it was just like a really new experience, like shooting in a different country with a different team. Even the glam team was like people from over there. And I really enjoyed myself. And it was a different experience that I feel like it's one of those like experiences that I'll never forget, if that makes sense. The first line. I watched as we turned to nothing but a memory. I think that hits really hard. When I write songs, it's always important that the first line always grabs you, especially like for people from my generation, like with Gen Z. Like Gen Z tends to have such a short attention spans, and when I came up with that, I think that's when the song started to really write itself. Another line that really stands out to me, all I have are questions with no answers left, and you said that we were a perfect team, but then you switched up and you turned your back on me. All I have are questions with no answers left, and you said that we were a perfect team, but then you switched up and turned your back on me. I think that really encapsulates how I was feeling at the time. Like I just had so many questions that I knew, or like even though I was hoping I'd get the answers, like I knew that I couldn't get them myself. Like only the person that hurt me would be able to answer them, but more than likely I wouldn't get them. And that's a tough thing to accept as a person, that sometimes you'll just have those questions that you'll never get the answers to. You'll never know why, or why they did this, why they did that. So yeah. Girl you used to know.
Yung call me a girl you used to know. Is it a call me dash a girl you used to know? You're just a girl he used to know. Or is it you don't call me as in tatawagan?
See,
idea
that is so. Can I just say that makes me so happy how you're really analyzing, because that's the point. Honestly, for me, it's up to people's interpretation, because I like to do that with my songs, like. Even especially like that whole chorus, it's like it can mean a lot of things to different people. Like for example, like something as simple as the first line of the chorus. We never made it to that movie.
I didn't get to call you my home.
We never made it to that movie. A lot of people can interpret it as we never made it to that date, that movie date. But it also means a movie is like when you say like, but when you say exactly where it's like when you say oh parang movie, it's like a picture perfect relationship. We never made it to that. So it can mean a lot of things. And same with that line. And now you don't even want to call me. To me, it means deeper in the sense that now he doesn't even want to call me that.
Acknowledge you.
Like acknowledge it, like acknowledge me. So I think like personally, when I sing it, I feel that intention more. But at the same time, I still resonate with like this person doesn't even want to call me anymore because we don't talk anymore. Okay, well, like I said, with local collabs, I've always been very vocal that I wanted to work with SB19 and my label mate, he's Zach Tabudo. Like, we've been talking about music and the things that he's about to do in the US, and like I'm really excited for him as both a fan, a friend, and an artist as well. But you know, someone that or some people that I actually recently talked to were the Juans. And we talked about wanting to collaborate with each other because they saw my cover of their song Dulo. And I did a cover of them of that song on TikTok, and they saw it and they said they really enjoyed it. So we were talking about collaborating. So I would definitely have to add them to my dream collab list in terms of local or OPM collabs. I would have to say internationally, like without fail, it's always gonna be Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran are like my top two. They've really shaped me as an artist and a songwriter, and like I think you can even hear their influences and wordplay, and how I structure my melodies. So yeah, those are my two dream collabs. If you love it, talk about it.